come, you can take your time lah to fill in your attendance. Okay, so just now I sent a WhatsApp to you guys, right? Regarding some of your friends who haven't record your attendance lah, okay, from the last 2 weeks. So the name is Matesh, anak lelaki Sivalingam. Ada tak? Matesh? Ada tak Matesh dah ni? Dia masih ada ke dia macam detektif? Ada tak kawan kenal kawan-kawan kamu ni? Ni, jadi nak list down below ada. So dia memang aktif I just want to confirm because I'm afraid that let's say if your name is in the system, but then you didn't attend the class, so I'm afraid that you will have a problem to sit for your quizzes later. Okay, so that's why I just want to confirm. Okay, belum masuk lagi. Nurul Ana Natasha, ada tak? Nurul Ana Natasha, ada tak? Lepas tu Alia Suraya dan Aminuddin Zulkifli. Tolonglah, can you please respond? Memang tak masuk lagi korang kena tak keempat-empat student ni? Memang kawan korang kan? Ke ada daripada kelas lain ke?
Tak kenal.
Tak kenal lah. Sebab dia orang punya attendance dia orang tak isi for the last 2 week. So it's a concern lah, okay. I need to check these 4 student to make sure that they are active and attend the class. So seorang pun tak kenal lah macam selain pada Matesh tu. Tiga-tiga tak kenal. Nurul Aina, Alia dengan Aminuddin. Memang tak kenal lah. Seorang kawan dia pun tak ada dalam ni. Ada tak? Kalau ada tolong respon.
Doktor?
Yes?
Saya ni Matesh, Doktor. Dah masuk dah, Doktor.
Matesh. Apa
saya
nama?
Matesh, Doktor. Matesh Analytics dengan Doktor.
Okay, nama kamu dalam sistem. Jadi you kena isi attendance lah untuk week 1 sampai week 4 nanti lah. Okay? Is it okay?
Okay, Doktor. Okay. Sorry, Doktor. Easy.
Okay. And then I would like you guys to remind the remaining 3 students, which is your friend, okay? You just text them or just call them and remind them to fill in the attendance because I make apa? Saya semak lepas tu I found out that they haven't fill in their attendance lah. Okay, I will show you how I record it. Okay, this is the one. Okay, can you see it? Can you see the attendance? Can write? Boleh kan? Okay, ini macam ni. 3 student ni dia memang tak pernah isi untuk week 1, week 2. So I'm quite concerned lah. Okay, I nak tahu sama ada dia orang aktif ataupun tak. Okay, ataupun dia orang dah drop ke apa ke. Okay, if they are your friends, okay, please remind them, okay, because we're going to have quiz 1 next week. So if they never attend the class, so it will be a problem lah. Sebab I tanya dalam message pun dia orang dalam group WhatsApp kan, seorang pun tak respon. Okay, without further ado, I think I would like to proceed lah with chapter 2A and also chapter 2B. Okay, class. So this is the chapter that we are supposed to cover last week. Okay, so I'm going to cover this today lah. Okay, since this will become your replacement class as well. Okay, so chapter 2. So we are going to learn about the preparation as an entrepreneur. Okay, I'm sorry about my voice because I have a flu. Okay, so my voice a little bit not very clear lah. Okay, but I hope that you guys still understand lah. Okay. Okay, for the process of entrepreneurial to happen, okay, basically they need to have 4 elements, okay, in the ni lah, okay, 4 basic element that should exist. So the first one is the founder or the entrepreneur itself lah, okay, and then after that the entrepreneur, they will find the opportunity. So opportunity here means that they find the chance lah to promote their product or to sell their product or to introduce new product in the market. So we call it opportunity to start a business, opportunity to sell a product. Okay, and then another component is resources. So for the entrepreneurial process to happen, the entrepreneur need to provide with resources lah. Okay, so for example, they need to have a lot enough capital, and then they need to have manpower, they need to have a building, okay, in order to make sure that the business is running, and then they need to have transportation or even machinery lah, okay, anything that related to the production of the output or how related to the how to start the business lah, okay. And then another item is another component is the team. The team here means manpower lah, okay. Those who are working in the firm. So basically these 4 elements are the component under Timor's model of entrepreneurial process, okay. This is one of the theory lah in entrepreneurship. Okay, this is the 4 elements lah that I explained to you just now, okay. So an entrepreneurial lead the entrepreneurial process, and he must be able to seize and act on opportunity, okay. So this is what makes the difference between entrepreneur and also non-entrepreneur, whereby entrepreneur they easily recognize opportunity because okay lah, for example, put yourself and your friend. Okay, maybe one day or maybe currently lah, maybe some of your friends, they open the business, right? They become an entrepreneur, and then you yourself, you continue your studies. So if you look back back in the day, you guys actually came from the same classes, right? You attend the same school, you attend same classes, you take the same subject, right? But then now it turns out that you become you pursue your studies, and then your friend become entrepreneur. So why the past is different? So what makes the it's different from entrepreneur and also yourself? So the difference is the opportunity lah, okay? Because they find the opportunity to start the business. They know what is what they are capable with, okay? What they can promote, what they can do lah in the business, okay? So that is the difference. And then with the opportunity, and they also have to be with the team lah, okay? So he will put in a viable package to the customer using resources at hand, okay? So this is another two element lah, team, okay, and also resources. So all these four element are the main component lah in to make sure that the entrepreneurial process happen, okay? And then we want to see what are the skills needed by the entrepreneur lah in order to make sure that he become a successful entrepreneur, or at least the basic lah, basic thing that they have to be equipped with, okay? So several skills are conceptual skills, the entrepreneur need to have technical skill, and then they need to have a good communication skill, and finally administrative skill, okay? First, we look at the communication skill. So for the communication skill, of course, because entrepreneur, they need to sell their products, right? And then they need to communicate with customer. They need to communicate frequently with the supplier, okay? Because they buy product from supplier and then they resell the product to the customer. So that's why they have to have a good communication skill or presentation skill, right? So presentation skill and public speaking skill ni especially used when you want to do a promotion. They want to convince customer in order to buy the product or to trust their brand, okay? So that's why lah the presentation skill is the basic things in business. And then entrepreneur also need to have the verbal and non-verbal communication skill, okay? For example, verbal is the way you communicate lah, okay? But then the non-verbal is something like related to your body languages, and then related to your attire, related to the way you see, the way your hands gesture move, the way your eyes, eye contacts, okay? The way you make your eye contact. So that is what we call the non-verbal communications, okay? And then another skill is related to the communication is business writing skill, okay? Aside from speaking, okay, of course we have communication, okay, via phone or via face-to-face, but then sometimes we have like what we call, we have like macam urusan lah, right? We have to deal with banking industry, bank sectors, financial sector. Then we have to have itulah, we have a communication with government bodies, right, or other organizations from the outside lah, okay? So we need a paperwork. We need a documentation, okay? For example, if you would like to apply for a loan, right, to expand your business, so you need to send your application to the financial institution or the banking lah, okay, the bank. So of course the bank will look at the documentation, so make sure that the entrepreneur have know lah how to write their business plan, okay, the background of the business properly, okay, in the documentation form lah, okay. And then negotiation skill, okay, negotiation skill ni happen between usually between the customer and also the entrepreneur, okay, but then it can also happen between the business owner and also the supplier, because they frequently discuss about the price, okay, as a seller, okay. Of course, they always want to sell a product, okay, any product as high as possible, right, as expensive as possible, because the more price we put on a product, the higher the revenue that we get, right? So that's why lah. So but then on the other perspective, from the customer perspective, of course lah, they want to buy the product as cheap as possible. Okay, so that is it will become a conflict over there, right? So that is why lah, the negotiation skill is needed. Okay, there will be a negotiation lah when we do a business. Okay. And then the fifth skill is personal appearance. Okay, personal appearance is more like the way you the way you dress lah. Okay, your attire. So when you attend a business or when you stand at a seminar, when the way you communicate with the customer also is reflected through the way you appear lah, okay, in front of them. Okay. Okay, this is some of the tips lah. Okay, in order to communicate effectively. Okay. I leave it to you guys to read. Okay, and then we have for nonverbal communication. Okay, just now I explained about the nonverbal communication here. So the main component lah we can see here is the eye contacts. Okay, because when we talk with at least two people, right, when we talk to with each other, okay, we look at each other. Okay, the way we want to judge people whether we can trust them or not. Okay, so by looking at the eyes. Okay, and then hand gesture lah, the way hand move, the way you put your hand. Okay, either in front or at the back or at the side of your body, so it can also determine whether you are confident or not. Okay, so that is another example of nonverbal communication. And then when it comes to legs or movement of your leg, okay, especially this is important when, or obvious lah, when you sit on a chair or in the sofa. Okay, when you have a meeting, when you sit together, so we can obviously see how someone else leg they put lah, how they position their leg. Okay, because all these three things can imply lah, it can give different meaning, it can give several meanings to the other parties. Okay, when they communicate. Okay, now attire. Okay, because businessman, of course lah, when you have a formal meeting, of course you have to choose the proper attire. Okay, so for example, business attire, right? Of course, this is very suitable lah when you attend a meeting or when you are dealing with the business lah, right? Or business casual. Okay, so as we can see here, it is actually a same person, right? Cristiano Ronaldo, but then he dressed it differently. Okay, according to different what we call occasion. Okay, so that is how lah we need to address properly based on the different occasions. Okay, this one you can read. Okay. And then another skill is technical skill. Okay, aside from the communication skill, so entrepreneur also need to be equipped with several skill lah. Okay, for example, nowadays we are in 2021, right? So most of our business, actually during pandemic, we rely much on internet and also online banking, online transaction, and then online purchase, right? So even you yourself as a student, okay, even you are involved in business transaction in online banking or online transaction, right? For example, you actively search your product on Shopee, again, right? And then Lazada, and then another online shop lah. Okay, so that is example of how mobile technology and also computer literacy is important to everyone, especially to the entrepreneur itself. Okay, let's say for example, if the customer know how to buy online, but then the employee or the entrepreneur, okay, they do know how to sell their product through online, so it will be a problem lah for the business. Okay, because maybe their business is not competitive enough to compete in the market lah, okay, compared to their competitors. Okay, and then we need to have the basic accounting. Okay, the way people manage the firm, okay, the way they manage their financing status, right? It involve balance sheet and also account statement. Okay, those are actually a basic accounting transaction that they actually have to acquire lah, okay, before they start the business. But then if let's say the entrepreneur itself, they don't know how to do the accounting by themselves, but so they can hire other business. Okay, they can subcontract, okay, the accounting process to the other business who specialize in accounting okay, in accounting sector, so they will do on your behalf lah. Okay, And then another skill is graphic design. So let's say if any entrepreneur have the at least lah have a basic knowledge in graphic design, so it will be an advantage lah to the entrepreneur, because this graphic design can help them to build their website, help them to design the brochures, right, the way they want to promote their product. So the way the product appear to the customer, so it will be an advantage lah. Okay, and then finally is the marketing. Okay, marketing. Let's say if you want to promote your product in online. Okay, so now back then in the day, maybe 10 years ago, okay, we only rely on email. Okay, right. Let's say if we talk about this online business, so back then it's only rely on email. So everyone or those firms who want to promote their product, they only promote it through online email. Okay, but then nowadays we have a lot of online platform. We even have multiple social media platform, right? Social media application. So for example, Instagram, Facebook, we have Twitter, we have TikTok, right? And even YouTube itself. So you can see from all this app, okay, every time you open the apps, okay, the first thing that will appear is the advertisement, right? So the pop-up advertisement. So that is example of e-marketing lah. Okay, so how you want to be competitive in business if you cannot promote your product in online marketing, because everyone nowadays rely on the smartphone. Okay, they attach themselves to the smartphone almost 24 hours a day. So that is why lah e-marketing is crucial nowadays lah in 2021. Okay, this is when now we look at the negotiation skill. Okay. Okay, in negotiation skill, we have several what we call element lah. So we have partner, we have interest. Of course lah, seller have their own interest, and then buyer also have their own interest, and then opinion, and then legitimacy, and also commitment. Okay, and then communication happen. So what is partner? So what it means by partner? So in every negotiation, there should be partner lah. So partner means the best alternative to a negotiated agreement, or it is the most advantageous alternative course of action a party can take if negotiation fail and an agreement cannot be reached. Okay, so it means that, okay, let me give for you an example lah. Okay, what is partner? So far, can you guys still follow me? Or am I too fast?
So far, so good.
So far, so good. Okay. So my voice is clear.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, this is example of partner. So partner here means that the range of price that the seller and also the range of price that the buyer are willing to spend. Okay. For example, so okay, I'll give you an example. Let's say the seller, this seller sell televisions. Okay, so the price tag that he put on the television is, let's say, 2,000 ringgit. So this seller came to the shop to buy the television. So when the buyer see the television price tag, so it written is 2,000 ringgit. So of course lah, as a buyer, they want a discount, right? So I believe lah, even you yourself as a buyer, you want a discount every time you buy a product, right? Because you want to save your money. So that is why. So the price that the buyer are willing to pay, so that's what we call the partner lah. Okay, so let's say the worst buyer case is 2,000 lah, okay, because the price is 2,000. So that is the maximum price that the buyer are willing to pay to the seller. So the buyer desired price, maybe he want a discount. Let's say maybe he want 200 discount. So it will become 1,800 ringgit only. So that is the best price that desirable to the buyer. So but then, of course lah, seller tak nak jual kan. Of course lah, the seller are reluctant to buy at a cheaper price, because if they sell at cheaper price, they won't get a lot of revenue. Okay. So of course, so this is the partner seller. So it means that the worst price that they can sell is maybe 1,900. So the discount will be only 100 ringgit lah discount. So and then if possible, they want to sell the television as high as possible, right? Okay, because they want to get more revenue. So this is what we call the partner between the buyer and seller. So when the conflict happen, one want to save the money, that one want a lot of money. So they have a discussion lah. Okay, maybe when they discuss, so agreement is reached whereby the price of the television is reduced to 1,900 only. Okay, so everyone is agree lah. Okay, the buyer agree to pay for the price, and then the seller agree to sell at the price. So this is what we call batna. So when this happen, communication happens. So this is what we call the negotiation lah. Okay, so this is a negotiation. Okay, I hope that is clear lah. Okay, and then now we look at who are the entrepreneurs. Okay, there are several characteristics lah that makes the difference between entrepreneur and also other people lah. Okay, like people like us lah. So to those entrepreneur, sometimes we can recognize them through how they make the difference lah. Okay, sometimes they appear differently, they have a different idea, the way they talk to us lah. Sometimes it's like out of the box, right? So that is what's made the difference lah between entrepreneur and also non-entrepreneur. And then entrepreneurs know how to spot and exploit opportunities. Okay, because they always think about business. Okay, they have a business mindset, they have business idea. So every time they see maybe the way they eat, when they sleep, or when they take a shower, right? So they always think about business. So that's why lah they easily recognize opportunity. So when they recognize opportunity, to get the revenue, they exploit it lah. So they exploit opportunity, okay, by investing, by selling that product, okay. And then entrepreneur know how to find the resources required. So let's say one day if they want to expand the business, so of course they need to have a lot of capital or cash lah. So in order to get the capital or resources we call it, so they already know from resources that they can get it. Okay, either they can ask from their friends, or they can borrow it from their families, or they can go to the financial institution lah to make a loan. Okay, and then entrepreneurs are people who add value. So add value here means it's something that they add to the brand lah, to the brand or to the product, to their own product. So for example, okay, we see a lot of people who sell goreng pisang, right? Fried banana, okay, on the road, okay, in Malaysia, to Indonesia, because we love the fried banana. So but then what makes the difference between the stall A and also stall B, okay, or the entrepreneur A and also entrepreneur B? Okay, because let's say the entrepreneur A, they want to make the differences. They want to make sure that their goreng pisang is unique. Okay, their food is unique. So they add cheese, they add chocolate, so they add mayonnaise maybe, right? So that's what we call value added lah to the product. Okay, so that is the way people or the entrepreneur attract the customer. Okay, and then entrepreneurs have a main network. So it means that they need to have a good network lah. Okay, when you are in business, of course you have to communicate, or you have to have a good relationship, especially with your customer lah. Okay, and then you have to have a good relationship with your supplier. Okay, let's say if you have a long-term supplier, right? You already know this guy for so long. Okay, you have a good relationship with them. So of course lah, there will be a trust. Okay, you will be trust with the two of you lah, the two party. So of course lah, one can easily they can provide discount. Okay, they can give priority to us. Okay, and same goes to the customer lah. Let's say if the customer trust the product, right? For example, you yourself lah. Let's say if you trust that particular product, you believe the quality, you have used that product okay for a long time, you already experience it, so you have a connection with the product. So sometimes you know the entrepreneur, the one who sell the product. So that is how network happen. So when we have a good networking, especially with the customer, so we can reduce the cost of doing marketing lah. Okay, because if let's say we do know, if you do not have a loyal customer, so we need to promote a lot. Okay, we need to do the promotion a lot to make sure that we attract a new customer. So that is why lah the networking is important. Okay, so entrepreneurs create capital. Okay, and then entrepreneurs manage risk and uncertainty. Okay, because they are investing their money in the business. Okay, they are producing the product. Okay, maybe they put even 10,000 or maybe 100,000 ringgit in business to make, but then they are not really sure lah whether their business is will become successful or not lah in the future, right? So that is why lah, that is what we call the risk taking, okay, and uncertainty, because they are not certain whether the business is successful or not. And then entrepreneurs are determined in the face of adversity, okay? And then entrepreneurs involve creativity and innovation, okay? This is happen when you want to attract the customer lah, okay? You want to make sure that your brand or your product appear differently or become a unique, okay? That can attract the customer, okay? Maybe you can make sure that your product is sell at a lower price compared to the competitors, okay? So that is the example lah, okay? And then enterprising activity, okay. So strategies to start a business, okay. So at first what you need to do lah before you start business, okay, of course lah, you need to do the planning, okay. So you plan a lot lah, you plan everything about the finance, about where you want to put your firm, where you want to operate the business, okay. Whether you want to buy a new building or you just need to rent it first, okay. And then identify the market. So kena pastilah, okay, identify which market, which places that you want to start the business, whether you want to open a business in a place only, or you want to open a business or maybe online only, okay. So you have to identify lah, okay. And then you have to identify also your potential customer, whether your potential customer is only female or whether they are male only, okay. Or maybe your customer is only those who are working, okay, because they have a lot of money, so they are willing to spend more lah. Or maybe your customer is only children. So that is how you have to identify first lah before you start a business. And then the price setting, okay. Okay, for example, in Malaysia, right, we have a lot of stall, okay, who sells food, right, every day, okay, along the road. If you go anywhere lah in Malaysia, so we can see on our side, whether left or right, okay, we can see a lot of shop who open and sell product, right, food. So some of them become attractive to us because even though the product is the same lah, okay, but then the price that they set is lower compared to competitors, okay. When we go to the shop A, so the price is cheaper. So of course lah, it attract more customer compared to the shop B. Okay, so that is how price setting will influence the success of the firm as well. And then marketing strategy. Okay, you want to do the marketing, whether you want to promote it in social media platform or whether you want to promote it in television or radio station. So it depends on your budget and depend on your availability of your firm lah, okay. Maybe they say if you promote your product in television, so but then suddenly there are a lot of customers who want to buy your product, but then you cannot provide, you cannot supply your product to a lot of customers, so of course it will become a problem. So that's why you have to manage effectively lah. You have to know your capability. And then developing skill manpower, okay, this is the way you hire skill or experienced worker, right, like those in engineering, those in technician, okay, those in who have a lot of experience in marketing or accounting, okay. And then finally total project cost, so you have to total up lah all the costs involved lah. Of course it's involved the way you have to pay for the what we call the salary, and then what kind of machinery that you have to buy, and then whether you want to rent the place or you have to buy it, and then the utilities such as electricity bill and water bill, okay, and then your new transportation. So you total up in total project cost. That's how the strategy lah to start a business. Okay, now back to the negotiation. So in negotiation, we actually have two type of negotiation. First is informal negotiation, and then second one is informal negotiation. So actually the informal negotiation usually happen every day lah. Okay, especially with you and your friend. Okay, it doesn't involve the business matter. Okay, so for example, maybe just now at 12 at noon, right? So let's say you stay in hostel, so you want to go to have a lunch, okay. So you will go with your friends, right? So you will have this discussion lah with your friend whether you want to go to eat at shop A or you want to go and have a lunch at shop B. So the discussion between you and your friend is what we call a informal negotiation. Okay. But then when it comes to formal negotiations, so it always related to the business lah, okay, especially in business organization between the business and also the supplier, or the business and also the customer, or even the business and also the government agencies or financial agencies. So when they talk, when they have a meeting, okay, when they discuss about the price, when they discuss about the term and of agreement, so this is what we call a formal negotiation. Okay. Okay, this is the strategy lah that you can put before you start a negotiation. Okay, for example, let's say, okay, before we go for negotiation with other people, of course you have to prepare, right? You have to prepare what are the agenda that you want to discuss with the other parties. Okay, and then what are your main goals? Okay, maybe at the end of the discussion or at the end of the negotiation, this is the target price, this is the price that you want to get, this is the target quantity that you want to get, okay, for example lah. And then get the necessary detail for all the important issue, okay, and then there can be a rediscussion and of agreed matter when negotiation to several days. Okay, sometimes we cannot solve the negotiation within 1 hour or within 1 day. Maybe we need time to have a discussion with our employees as well. Okay, we need to go back to our firm and then make a discussion, make a meeting with our team. So and then we go again, okay, and make a second negotiation with the other parties lah. Okay, after you make a meeting. Okay, and this is the tactic lah, like what we call something that even though it's very small matter, but then you have to take yeah, okay, you have to alert about it. Okay, for example, you have to be polite lah, okay, and then you have to alert about the people who, to those people who you are negotiating with. Okay, maybe this is someone who is in higher ranking, okay, in other organization. Okay, you have to know the ethic, you have to know the way to present yourself to that kind of people. Okay, and then make sure that you are voicing the important issue at the right time. Okay, you have to look at the mood as well, the mood of that people. Okay, maybe he or she just have a problem with his friend or with his business, so maybe his mood is not really good lah. So that's why you have to be alert about it, okay, before you discuss about the business. And then if there has to be a second meeting, set the venue and date. Okay, sometimes of course we have to have a follow up, okay, to have a good ending, right? Good negotiation. So we'll have several meeting, okay, and then don't be irate when headlock. Okay, you have to make sure that you consider lah other people's problem. Okay, don't make people follow your goals only. Okay, and then take time out to discuss opinions among your team. Okay, and this same means to the one that I explained dulu lah. Okay, you have to make maybe you go back to your firm and then discuss again with your family, your team members lah. Okay. Okay, and then don't touch about the sensitive matter, and then okay, don't make a ridiculous demand, and then agree on small concessions while meeting ahead. Okay, and then use some tactic lah. Okay, and now another skill is leadership skill. Okay, so what is mean by leadership? So leadership is the process of influencing others to achieve a group of organizations. And then when it comes to visionary leadership, so it means something that focus on the long term lah, the future. Okay, so the definition is leadership that creates a positive image of the future that motivates organizational members and provides direction for the future. So that is the difference between visionary leadership and also leadership. Okay, the visionary leadership focus on the future. They have a future planning. Okay, so this is a leadership traits lah. Okay, not everyone can be a leader. Okay, so that is why lah, this is the characteristic of a good leader. So or she must have a desire to lead. Okay, sometimes people are comfortable to follow other people's order, so they are not comfortable to become a boss or set a direction. So that is why lah, not everyone can be a leader. And then honesty and integrity, be honest, then have integrity lah. And then self-confidence, especially when you talk to other people, when you want to convince your follower. So that is it's about the self-confidence lah. Okay, and then emotional stability. Okay, you don't make a judgment. Okay, you don't discriminate. Okay, even though you don't really like your employees. Okay, some of your employees, but then you have to be fair lah. Okay, do not discriminate. Okay, and then cognitive ability to think or to have a good mindset. Okay, to think carefully. And then knowledge of the business. Okay, you have to equip yourself with the basic knowledge lah. Okay, you make sure lah you know a little bit about business. What we call business studies. Okay, and then drive, and then have a vision. Okay, for a long term of the firm lah. Okay, and then dedication. Okay, dia macam bukan hangat-hangat teh ayam kan, macam hari ni malas so rajin tak. So dedication here means that something that you have the spirit, okay, to do the job lah. Okay, every day. Okay, this is another thing that related to the leadership lah. So successful leaders don't procrastinate, and then don't delegate accountability. If you think you can do it yourself, then do it yourself. Don't make people do your job lah. And then successful leader develop other leader. Okay, of course they want to make sure that they have like follower, right? Like someone who can replace them one day, for example. So we can develop others as well. Ada consultation process. Okay, this is how what consultation happen. Okay, and then okay, another skill. I believe is the last skill. So it is about the administrative skill. So when you become an entrepreneur, of course you have to manage everything by yourself, right? Especially when your firm is new and then your firm is small. Okay, so you are the entrepreneur, then you have to manage in terms of accounting, you have to manage in terms of the marketing. Okay, you have to buy your own product. Okay, then you have to sometimes deliver the product to the customer by themselves lah, by yourself. So that is why you have to know a little bit of everything, okay, in the firm. So that's what we call the administrative skill. Okay, so that's it for chapter 2A. So so far, any other question that you would like to ask before we proceed with chapter 2B? Ada soalan tak? Divaka is your name, is my name is in the system. Okay, let me check. Actually, you can check it by yourself, but then let me check it. So, yes, your name is in the system. So Divaka, your name is available in the system. Okay, so the student who whether if you're not certain whether your name is in the system or not, so you can go to the Unimap system, then check on the slip lah, right, exam slip that you already have every semester, okay, before you sit for your final exam, right? So from that slip you can detect lah whether this subject is already registered under your name or not. Okay, so class, is it okay if I continue with chapter 2B?
Yes.
Ngantuk ke semua kat tidur ni, ke petang-petang ni?
Ada je.
Lain senyap dah, okay, tak apalah. So we will proceed with chapter 2B, okay? So actually this is the chapter that we are supposed to cover today lah, okay? So in the meantime, you can fill in your attendance lah for chapter, for week 3 and week 4, okay? Because we cover 2 weeks serentak lah, okay? Alright, this is chapter 2B. Okay, after I finish this lecture, so I will upload these 2 slides in our Google Classroom, so you guys can go and download it. Okay, So you have to study from chapter 1 until chapter 3 lah, to be because they will be available in your quiz 1 next week. Okay. So the second chapter 2B is about business entities, regulations, and business support system. Okay, so business entity means that something you want to see what kind of business that exists in Malaysia and commonly available in Malaysia. Okay, and then second one is regulation. Okay, sometimes we have to abide to the rules, right? Because we every country have their own rules when it comes to business, right? So you have to follow lah. Okay, such as you have to follow for the permit. You need to have some license, okay, to start a business, to operate the business. And then the third one is business support system. So it means that any organization, any institution that assists or help entrepreneur for the business lah, okay, to make sure that the business can expand, to make sure that the business can be competitive, okay, actually to compete with foreign product. Okay. So now we want to look at the business entities. So under Registration of Business Act, ROBA 1956 or amended in 1976, 78. Okay. So there are two kind of business entities. So we name it sole proprietorship and also partnership. Okay. So let's say if you yourself as student, okay, let's say if you want to start a business too, then you can do so by going to the SSM counter lah. Okay, SSM here stand for Suruhanjaya Syarikat Malaysia. So that is the government bodies who assist any entrepreneur lah before they can start the business. Okay, so you can either go to online lah, okay, through the website, this link. So your registration of new business can be done within 30 days from the date of your business lah. Okay, from the start of the business. Okay, then there are several forms that you have to fill in, and then you can refer to the guideline lah. Sometimes from the guideline we can determine lah whether our business is under sole proprietorship or partnership. Okay. So and then under Companies Act 2016, we have several kind of business entities as well. So we have unlimited companies, limited companies by guarantees, limited companies by share. So under this company, we have private limited companies, public limited companies, and also foreign-owned company. Okay, there are many kind of business entities in Malaysia, right? So, but then for this purpose, okay, for this chapter, we only cover 3 types of business establishment in Malaysia, because these 3 are the main or the most popular form of business ownership that is available in our country. Okay. Now, first we look at this sole proprietorship. So what it means by sole proprietorship? So a sole proprietorship is an attractive form of legal status for a new business. Okay. Why it is attractive form? Because it is the simplest business structure that is available lah. Okay. Why it's simpler? Because it is solely owned and operated by an individual. It means that one single entrepreneur can start the business lah. Okay, but the business is called sole proprietorship. Okay, so the example of sole proprietorship entities that available in Malaysia lah, that we can easily notice or can see lah. Okay, for example, barber shop, right? Kedai cukur rambut, or even store lah, kedai makan, right? The restaurant that have a lot, has a small employees, and then grocery shop, right? Kedai runcit. So those are the example lah of sole proprietorship that is available and most commonly seen, okay, by us lah. Okay. So because it is simple, okay, we want to see lah the advantages of sole proprietorship. Okay. So the entrepreneur can make decision on his own, okay, because he is the owner of the firm. He is the boss. Okay, he did not share with other parties. He did not have other any partnership. Okay, so he do need to make a discussion lah before he make any decision. Okay, so that is why lah it become flexible, and then enjoy certain degree of flexibility. Okay, let's say if barbershop they want to open up their business every day at 8 in the morning. they also can. Okay, but that if let's say that entrepreneur is not a morning person, so he want to start a business at 12 at noon, right? In the afternoon, so he can do so because he is the one who make the decision lah for the firm. So that is why we call it enjoy certain degree of flexibility. Okay, and then easy to form and dissolve because it doesn't involve a lot of capital to start a business, and that deserve each cent of the profit. Okay, because you do not share the business with other people, with other partners, right? Of course, everything that is obtained from the firm is belong to you, and then not subject too much to government regulation because it's a simple form. Okay, you don't hire a lot of employee, you do not uh, get much of the revenue lah compared to large firms. So that is why it's not subject much to the regulations. And then owners income tax is based on individual income. Okay. Okay, now we want to see at the disadvantage of sole proprietorship. Okay, even though the firm is small, of course lah, there are still disadvantages. So for example, limited source of capital. Because the firm is small, okay, and then the owner of the firm is only one single person. So that is why lah, the amount of capital, okay, the way the firm want to expand, it relies on the financial status of the entrepreneur itself lah. So let's say if the entrepreneur is rich, so then the business can expand more. But then if the entrepreneur don't have a lot of capital, don't have a lot of money, so the business will be limited lah. Okay. And then the entrepreneur have to bear all the responsibility and that the liability. Okay, it means that anything happen to the firm, okay, let's say if the firm incur losses, if the firm have to pay for the utility, have to pay for the rent, okay, so everything has to be paid by the one single entrepreneur lah. Okay. Future development subject to management capability and health. Okay, let's say one day in the future the entrepreneur, okay, is ill, okay, is sick or he have to go somewhere else, okay, he want to have a vacation with his family, so of course the business have to be closed on that day lah, because he's the one who operate the business, or he don't have a lot of employee. Okay, so that is the advantages. And then solely responsible for all the tasks. Okay, he's the one who is the manager, he's the one who is the owner, he's the one who is the employee, right? He have to do a lot of everything lah. Okay, a little bit of everything. And then lifespan of business is subject to owner's life. Okay, so let's say one day if the owner died, so the business has to shut down because when the business start, so they registered the business under one single person. So that is why lah, it will become affected if anything happen to the entrepreneur. Okay, the second type of commonly available business in Malaysia is partnership. Okay, so partnership is a form under the Business Registration Act 1956 and then amended in 1978. Okay, it is a business owned by at least 2 people and then but not exceed 20 people. Okay, all partners agree to undertake a joint business and jointly own the business. Okay, so compared to the sole proprietorship, this time partnership, so it means that at least there are 2 people working together, they agree to form a business, so they make agreement, so they will start business together lah, so they invest the capital together. Okay, everyone share their money in order to make sure that the business can happen lah. Okay, or let's say they want to expand the business, then they have to contribute their money. Okay, so example of the firm that is classified under partnership is mostly legal firm, okay, and then cleaning. Okay, so for example here Rahim and Co, so this is one example of legal firm lah that is classified under partnership. Okay, but then another example that I believe you guys are very familiar with is clinic, Dr. for example Dr. Azhar and rakan-rakan, right, and then Dr. Chu and his friends. So those are example of business partnership lah. Okay, because it involves more than one person who establish the business, who become the entrepreneur in the business. Okay, of course still have advantages and its advantages. Okay, now we look at one by one lah. Okay, advantages, this kind of business is still easy to set up because it's not a large firm. Okay, and that easier to secure financial assistance because this time you have two people at least. Okay, let's say if you want to gonna have problem of in terms of money, so he can ask for assistance lah. He can ask help from other partner in order to provide money for them lah. And then equity increase by many partners, and then reduce business risk because you guys share everything together. You guys agree and make agreement, okay, to share everything lah. Let's say if anything happen to the firm, if the firm incur losses, okay, if the firm has to pay a lot of debt, then you have to pay that debt together lah. Okay, you share the money. Okay, and then divided responsibility because everyone is agree to do business, everyone have their own expertise. Okay, maybe one of the partner become the manager, another partner specialize in engineering, and another partner specialize in accounting. Okay, they divide the task lah effectively. And then pool of ideas and talent. Okay, because everyone is in the business, so they tend to have a meeting. They have a lot of discussion, okay, when they sit together. So of course lah, the new idea tend to emerge, okay, from the discussion. And then income tax is still based on individual. Same goes to the sole proprietorship lah. Okay. Now you want to look at the disadvantages. Okay. First is unlimited business liabilities. Okay. Here means that let's say if anything happen to the firm, so for example, if you have to pay for the debt lah, hutang, right? Or if the firm incur losses, okay, mengalami kerugian, so the firm have to pay for the losses, and also the owner also have to pay for the losses. So it means that the money is not limited to the one that they invest at the beginning, right? But then it also involve their personal asset. It can involve their houses, the car. So everything that is related to their personal asset can be involved in order to make sure that the business can settle the debt or pay for the losses. Okay, and then the lifespan is depending on the life of a partner. Okay, this one can happen unless you make an agreement lah during the establishment of the firm. Let's say if you agree that, let's say one person anything happened to that person, if he or she died, so the business can still be continued. Okay, but then it's through the agreement lah. Okay, and then personal clashes. Okay, because there are more than one person in the business. Okay, everyone want to be a boss. Okay, everyone they have their own opinion. Okay, because they tend to argue a lot because when they have a lot of idea, of course lah, they tend to be clashes lah. Okay, and then misconduct. Okay, sometimes even though we believe our friend, right, we make a partnership, but then some of our friend maybe they like betray us. Okay, they take the money, okay, and then they didn't do the job as we promised. Okay, so that is what we call the misconduct lah. Okay. And then the third kind of business available in Malaysia is we call it companies or private limited companies. Okay. So the number of members does not exceed 50 people. Okay. This time this firm is a little bit bigger lah compared to the partnership. Okay, but then it's still small compared to public limited companies. Okay. And then the authority to transfer ownership. Not all the firm is not allowed to sell or offer any share, okay, or debenture to general public. Okay, and the firm is not allowed to offer general public to deposit money within a stipulated time. So it means that, let's say if the firm want to expand the business, they want to make sure that the business run in every month lah. So they say if they want to get the money, okay, to be the capital, to be a capital lah. Okay, so they cannot easily ask money from anyone in the public. Okay, they can only get the money from among themselves lah, because this firm is called private. Okay, so if you want to differentiate to identify whether the firm is private limited companies or public limited companies, you can recognize it through the term Sendirian Berhad lah. Okay, this is the word that should be compulsory available at the end of the name brand lah of any firm that is classified under private limited companies. Okay, because this term stands for Sendirian Berhad. And now we move to a little bit bigger firm. Okay, so this time we call it public limited companies. Okay, Why we call public? Because a little bit bigger, and the public people, okay, general people can invest their money in that firm. Okay. So the number of members is 50 people, and then it can be more than that. Okay, but then the amount of people is unlimited. So it has the authority to transfer ownership, and then this firm allowed to sell and offer any share or debentures to general public. Okay, and the firm allowed to offer general public to deposit money within a stipulated time. Okay, this is the example of why people make an investment. Okay, people buy share. Okay, or kalau bahasa kita panggil kita orang main saham, right? Orang beli saham. Okay, that is why because sometimes we, even though we as a public, we are not someone else in the firm lah, but then we can still make an investment in the firm. Okay, because we want to reap the benefit in the future. So when we make an investment, so the money that we pay to the firm is used by the firm lah in order to run the business to generate profit in the future. So that is why it is open to the public, and then the advantage of course lah, it easily can get the money. Okay, it will become bigger lah. Okay, so the difference between Sdn Bhd, the private limited company and also public limited company is the term Berhad. Okay, when you see the term Berhad only at the end of the name of any firm, so we can easily identify it as public limited companies. So usually public limited company is always a big firm lah. Okay, a well-known firm. Okay, I believe you guys, if you go to supermarket, okay, if you see the brand name that is quite famous, okay, on any food lah, food packaging, so most of the firm is the public lah, public limited company, because they are a large firm. Okay, this one is example of private limited company, because we can identify from this term Sdn Bhd. Okay. Now we want to look at the advantages and also the disadvantages of companies. Okay. First is this, because the firm is large, okay, they have a lot of capital, so the fund are easy to acquire because everyone pulls the money in the firm. And then shareholders are legally protected, and then they have their own board of directors, okay, who runs the company. So the shareholder do not run the company lah, okay. And then, but then the difference between the private limited companies and also the sole proprietorship and partnership is limited liability. So anything happen to the firm, if let's say the firm incur losses, they have to pay for any debt. Okay, so the amount of money that is involved is limited to the one that they invest at the beginning. Okay, not involve their personal asset, their personal car, or their personal house. Okay, and then a lifespan of business is not dependent on the members. Okay, let's say if someone from your partnership is died, okay, they died, so the business can still be running as usual. And then potential business expansion, because it's easy to get a capital, so they can expand more. And then it's a legal entity by itself. And now we look at the disadvantages. Okay, because this is a large firm, okay, we have a lot of employees under our firm, we have a lot of documentation, okay, we have a lot of customer, we make a lot of business transactions, so that's why they are subject to more rules. Okay, and then share cannot be transacted through share market, and then we have to pay for the tax lah, corporate tax, because we have large firm, because we are a large firm, we have a lot of revenue. And then we have to go through Audi, okay, maybe once every year or annually, right? So this Audi one to determine whether the documentation in accounting is what we call true or not. Okay, they expose everything or not. Okay, and then transparent financial affair. Okay, because you are a large firm, okay, you want to get the money from the public, so you have to expose your financial status lah. So that's why if you go to the website of any large firm, okay, you can download their annual report, right? Annual report from their website. So from that report, they will expose about their financial. And then high setup cost. Of course, because this is a large firm, because you have to need a lot of capital to start a business like this this company. Okay. And now we look at the procedure and legal aspect. This is the second subtopic. Okay, because you are in a business, okay, you have to follow certain procedure, and also you have to have a lot of documentation. You have to have some permit, okay, before you can start the business. Okay, so this is example lah. So under license we have manufacturing license, we have wholesaling license, business license, food manufacturing license, and also sales license. Okay, for example, let's say if the business is related to the food and beverage industry, so that business produce fast food, for example. So they want to sell the product in the supermarket. So before they can do so, they have to acquire the manufacturing license to be classified as manufacturer lah of the food. So the food will state lah whether the product used, the raw material used in the production of food is safe to be consumed by consumer or not. Okay, that is why lah license is important, because they want to control what the firm put in the product. And then, for example, if let's say your firm hire foreign worker to do the job, right, to be your employees, so you have to acquire a permit specialized in foreign worker entry permit. So this is another procedure that you have to follow lah. Okay, and then we have another procedure, what we call the regulation lah that you have to follow is we have Factory and Machinery Act, we have pollution control. Okay, this one is especially related to the manufacturing industry lah. Okay, when you are in a factory, when you produce a product, of course you will release certain degree of gases, right? You will release amount of smoke in the atmosphere. So in order to protect we as a citizen, we as a Malaysian, because we inhale oxygen every day, right? We inhale the air every day. So to avoid any complication in the future, so the government put the pollution control on the manufacturing industry lah. Okay. And then business right. Okay, we want to protect our business. Of course, you have to register our business under trademark, patent, and copyright. Okay, so from this example of why you tend to see famous brand in black market, right? Nama Nike, the product is Nike, but then the product is not original. Okay, it's made by in black market. So that is why lah, business right is important in order to protect your brand and also your product. And then we have standard and quality, and then we have Hire Purchase Act, Worker Social Need. Okay, this especially focus on protecting the employees lah. Okay, let's say if your employee are sick, so we have to provide the medical benefit, right? We have to provide with WSP or APF. Okay. And then we have infrastructure need and also import and export regulation. Okay, this import and export regulation usually related to the firm that have export and import activities lah. Okay, and then the final subtopic is business support system. Okay, so in Malaysia we have a lot of government bodies and also institution, and even non-government bodies also have, who assist and help entrepreneur in order to promote the product, to make their business expand even more. Okay, so for example, financial support. Let's say if you want to expand your product or you want to start your business, so that you can refer to the any bank lah or commercial bank, okay, in order to get a loan, okay, to approve your loan, so you can get the initial money lah to start your business. Or you can go to MARA, you can go to this one lah, PPI, MDF, or you can go to SME bank. Okay lah, depending on the sector as well. And then those institutions who provide training to the entrepreneur is MARA, MEDEC, and SDC. Okay, these people will provide in terms of the skills needed lah. Okay, let's say if you want to produce handcraft, you want to produce batik or food, right? Food industry, they will provide training for the entrepreneur. And then it comes to technological. Okay, according to different industry. Okay, let's say if your firm is in the palm oil or so you can refer to this forum. If your firm is related to the microelectronic, okay, electronic factory, so you can refer to the MOS. Okay, and then those who provide infrastructure support is UDA, MARA, and SEDEC. And then those who provide marketing support to the entrepreneur is pharma, matrix, and MT. Okay. Actually, these three things are quite common lah because they assist firm to export their product. Okay, or export or import lah. Okay. So for example, pharma. So we are in Perlis, right? Perlis is quite famous for pelam harum manis, right? The harum manis mango. Okay. So this fruit will produce they will harvest their fruits between April and June. So between this month, so they have a lot of fruit supply lah, okay, to the market. But then because our fruit is very high quality, okay, we have demand from other countries. So that's why lah, small entrepreneur or the farmer in place, if they want to export their product to other countries, so they can refer to farmer. Okay, because more no details lah. Okay, and then another thing is SIRIM, MPOB, okay, RRM, and also MARDI. Okay, and then those who provide information support is free, middle, matrix, and SIRIM. Okay, this is another keywords lah. You can see retirement account. Okay, and then stock market. Okay, and then government loans. Right. So that's it for chapter. Chapter 2B. So we already finished two chapter lah today. Okay, chapter 8, chapter 2A, and chapter 2B. So that's it, guys. Guys, I don't know why you guys are so silent. Maybe some of you guys still already asleep. So, guys, anything that you would like to ask before we end our class? Ada soalan tak?
Tak ada, sir.
So far, no.
Macam mana yang 4 orang tu boleh tak korang lagi 3 orang ni? Boleh tak korang minta boleh tak minta bantuan you guys untuk track kawan-kawan korang ni untuk make sure dia orang
Tak ada, sir.
seorang pun tak kenal 3 ni.
Tak kenal.
Tu tak kenal.
Tak kenal. Tak apalah. Okay guys, okay, make sure to fill in your attendance, okay, for week 3 and week 4, okay, because we already covered for 2 chapters lah today, okay. So it will be a replacement class from last week. Okay, another reminder is you have to go to your email system, okay, check again whether this subject is listed or registered under your name, okay, and then get ready for your quiz 1 next week. On Saturday. Okay, so without further ado, I think we can end our class today before we meet again next week. Okay, so thank you guys for joining this class. Assalamualaikum and good evening.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Thank you,
doctor.
sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.